One of the things that producers have learned is with corn price where it's gone, we've looked at, we've had historical or thoughts of what are inclusion levels of distillers, wheat mids, and these alternatives, and we've really challenged that conventional thinking, and if producers have the opportunity, certainly have pushed those higher just due to true economics. But the consequence of that is we need to make sure we have feed systems that can handle that from the standpoint of making sure the feed flows. We need to make sure that we have the bin capacity, because oftentimes with many of our alternatives such as wheat mids, distillers, soy hulls, bulk density gets worse, which basically means it takes more room to encompass the same amount of weight. So now bins that are supposedly 10 ton no longer can hold 10 ton of feed, and feed trucks and mixers, everything the like. So there's a lot of milling issues that come in as we've pushed and want to include more of these products into diets. Sows would be another example. We have gestation drop boxes that are set at 5 pounds or 4.5 pounds. Well, no longer, as we have these alternatives, 5 pounds in a drop box no longer is 5 pounds. It's actually less than that, because those are set up on a volumetric basis, not a true weight basis. We need to make sure we're adjusting for all those factors. Otherwise, we certainly can have negative consequences of using those alternatives when in fact we're using them to save money if we don't account for all those things that may cost us money. With any of these any ingredient, and especially distillers, there's a wide variation in quality, and that's still true today. Mycotoxins certainly can be part of distillers. This year, based on last year's corn crop, the incidence of mycotoxins generally in the U.S. is very low in distillers. A year ago, we had a lot of problems with it, but this year we actually have very low levels of mycotoxins. But it's something we still have to monitor and make sure the plant that the distillers is coming from is doing some monitoring, and we can have some assurances that those mycotoxins are low. One of the things along the testing lines right now, many ethanol plants are spinning some of the extra fat from distillers out. In fact, most distillers traditionally has been about 10% fat, and now a lot of these products are 7 to 8%, and so they're lower energy, so we have to account for that, because if we're giving it the full energy value and yet that fat's gone, so the part of that energy's gone, we have to make sure then that we can't afford to pay the same amount, I guess, as we look at that, because the energy simply isn't there. And if we don't know that and we're formulating for what we think is the energy level, then we're going to be costing ourselves performance as well. So we just got to make sure we're accounting, and it's back to testing. We got to pull samples, we got to run a test just to see what in fact that product truly is. The alternative prices have went up, they follow the corn price, but there certainly is big opportunities. Distiller grains is one. At 40, if we could feed 40%, and a lot of producers are, depending on the packer, they're going to dictate some of that with carcass quality parameters. But it's over $10 a pig savings feeding 40% distillers and finishing right now compared to none. And so again, there's certainly incremental differences. Wheat mids, as an example, depending on the region, can be economical as well. So again, yes, it's certainly evaluating and reacting quickly to some of those prices so we start saving as quick as we can, but at the same time, if they become uneconomical, we need to surely get them out of the diets too. One of the things is we look at growth rates and when we need, certainly the summer marketing of pigs is a time of generally our highest profitability, yet market weights dip in summer because of heat and just the reduction in growth rate that we experience. So we need to be planning when we place pigs for summer marketing. We really need to be thinking back to March and April about fat regimens or dietary energy to make sure we're maximizing growth rates so we maximize our profitability during the summer months. Same way as we place pigs in summer, we probably don't have to feed as much energy, and that goes against conventional thinking that in summer we should always be feeding high energy. Well, in fact, we don't if those pigs are going to be marketed in October and November, because in September, October, November, growth rate generally takes off. And then that added dollars that we put into that pig for added calories actually we didn't need it, because they're going to make up that growth later on. So back to strategies and thinking about diet energy and when those pigs are marketed becomes very important. I think the fun is with the feed costs where they are. I mean, it's always important, and producers do a very vigilant job of staying up. It's very important now we're watching prices, maximizing the use of alternatives when they are going to offer us some cost savings, and yet then practically figure out oftentimes the inclusion rates are dictated by our feeding systems. So again, we're going into summer, we get our most bridging of feeders or bins. This time of year when it's hot and humid. So all those things come into play. But again, we have to be vigilant. We got to stay on top of it and react as quickly as possible, because all the feed ingredients, their cost is so much greater than we've had historically. Those dollars are significant if we're not reacting in short order.